here.
Oh, afternoon, yeah. Is it afternoon or noon?
It's just noon,
It's just noon. Oh, okay.
but technically it's PM. So
Yeah.
as soon as it's 12:01, it would still be afternoon, technically.
Oh, okay.
So, a few things that we'll do today. I have some phrasal verbs. So phrasal verbs are verbs that use multiple words, sort of like compound verbs,
Compound word.
having to do with customer service, sales, business, the office, and I have a reading comprehension activity also. Hold on, it's being slow.
Sure.
Okay, there we go. Okay, can you enable screen sharing for me?
Oh, okay, I forgot to
No
do.
problem.
Okay, done.
Okay. Okay, so let's go over the phrasal verbs first, and then we'll go over this reading activity.
Okay, sure. So ESL.
Yeah,
Read
this
the
right here.
words. Okay.
Okay, so choose the best answer for the following questions or statements.
The delivery driver was caught stealing from the warehouse, so he was kicked out of the company permanently.
Correct.
So is there any other word, like a single word that can better replace the word kick out? Or
Fired.
he was fired. What's the difference
But you would have to
fired
get
and laid off?
laid off means that like there's a possibility that you could come back. And also if you're laid off, you get benefits usually. Fired means that usually people are fired because they did something wrong.
Oh,
It
because
has a negative connotation, whereas laid off is a more positive, has a positive connotation. Telling people you're laid off sounds a lot better than telling people that you were fired.
Oh, okay.
Because
So
go ahead.
what about retrenched? Like, for example, a lot of can I say air crews or the crew members?
Yeah, cabin crew.
The cabin crews were retrenched.
I've never heard that used.
Like retrenchment. Like
Never heard it.
Because I read the news and then the founder of AirAsia was which is or who is?
Who is?
Who is? Oh, okay, who is Tony? He said that he aims to like rehire the retrenched employee.
It sounds like just laid off, another word for laid off based on the context.
Yeah,
I've never heard.
The...
It sounds like something, I don't know. I've never heard that used in English.
Perhaps it's a British word.
It could be, yeah. That's a possibility. Is the CEO British?
No. You mean Tony? No, Tony is an Indian. He's a Malaysian.
Well, maybe he was educated. If he's Indian Malaysian, then there's a strong chance that he was educated in England and therefore would speak British English. Retrenched.
Because in Malaysia, we actually adopt When we learn English, we
To reduce costs or spending in response to economic difficulty.
retrenched.
Like to make cutbacks would be a synonym of that would be to cut back.
To diminish in extent or quantity. Is that something? It's not
I don't think
American.
using it on an individual basis sounds odd.
Sounds.
I would just say that like laid off employees, not retrenched employees.
The retrenched worker.
It comes from French. Retrencher. Retrencher was a variant of retrencher from expressing reversal and trencher to cut, to slice. So the like to back cut. So literally to back cut, which would become cut back.
Cut back.
Pretty cool.
Oh, okay. So what about like withering household incomes? Like, oh, close it. Never mind.
Oh, sorry.
Withering. WITHERING.
What is it?
Okay, yeah. Like below the formal.
Withering means like dying, especially in relation to plants. If a plant is withering, it means that it doesn't have enough water.
What about wilt?
Same. It's a synonym with withering. Wither and wilt would be synonymous.
Wilting. Can I say wilting?
But I wouldn't use wilting with household incomes. I would just say withering.
Okay, have caused families to retrench their ending. Okay.
I would use wilting to talk about like friendships. Like, although their friendship was strong for many years, in the last 2 or 3 years, it has begun to wilt. Like
ever since we like get out of the society or get into the society, get in workforce.
I need to hear the full context before I can correct you.
Like ever since we step into the society and started working, our friendship began to wither.
Good. Sounds good to me.
There's nothing.
Ever since we stepped into society or entered the workforce, something like that. It's good.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Some of these phrasal verbs you can use, just not in this context. Like kicked in. Have you heard this one? Kicked in.
Kicked in, like the spiciness kicked in.
Yeah. And kicked off. You know, kicked off.
Kicked off. To start something.
Yeah. Nice. You know a lot of these. Kicked away, I've never heard that used, except as a literal phrase, you know, talking away. Literal meaning like you actually get rid of something by kicking it away with your foot.
Oh, okay.
Like he kicked away the snake. So it doesn't have a figurative meaning. The way kicked off, kicked out, kicked in, they all have meanings that are separate from their literal meanings.
Okay. So what about how do I make a sentence with kick off? Like the event kicked off with a brief, with the speech, or
yeah, the event kicked off with a brief speech.
With a brief speech, or the event kicked off with national anthem or singing of a national anthem.
Yeah, either one is correct. All three examples that you said were correct.
Oh, okay. I see. Even without placing a verb is also fine. Like
Even without placing what?
A verb like singing of the national anthem or
Yeah,
kick
you
off
don't need
the
this.
national
You don't
anthem.
need the verb there. That's actually not a verb anyway. It's a noun.
A
It's a
gerund.
gerund. Yeah.
Gerund. Okay.
The event kicked off with the national anthem.
Okay.
Yeah. But you could, if you want to be very explicit, you could say the event the event kicked off with the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, this
In
is
this
more
ca-
formal.
Yeah. But most people would just say the event kicked off with the national anthem.
Oh, okay. Make it short and simple.
Mhm. Like the Olympics, I haven't watched the Olympics at all. Have you?
You mean the Winter Olympic?
Mhm.
No. Yep.
Yeah, I haven't had any time. But you could say the Olympics kicked off with an opening ceremony. Okay.
The event kicked off with the opening ceremony.
Mhm.
The opening ceremony means like they will just like all the athletes they will hold their own flag.
Yeah, something like that. They march around with their flag, and then
March around.
the host country like puts on a big show, like to celebrate their culture.
Oh, puts on the big show.
Yeah, I'm sure the Chinese one was pretty good. Chinese always go all out to try to, they like to show off their country.
Oh, okay. If let's say I want to ask a question like can I say have or has the United States become a host country before? Can you try to
You would
correct
say,
if something is wrong?
you need to say, yeah, I will. You need to say has, because the United States is a singular noun.
Uh-huh.
Although it's tricky because you could treat it as a plural noun too, because it's made up of many member states.
Yeah.
Just like it's similar to the United Arab Emirates, the UAE, which is also made up of multiple smaller member states. So, but you would still say has the UAE.
Okay, has the UAE instead of
Right.
USA.
Right. You could, this comes down to more of an opinion question. It's more of like what your teacher thinks is correct. But for me, I would treat I would treat all of these united countries as a singular country rather than a bunch of member states.
Okay, treat it as one. So has the
Now,
UAE become the host country for Olympics before?
yeah, it has.
Okay. Did you spot any mistake when I say
What's that? No, you
no?
were okay.
Has the UAE ever become?
Ben, use Ben.
Has the UAE been?
A host of the Olympics before? No, they have not. I think so.
Oh, okay. Has the UAE been a host country for Olympics? Do we need to put before at the end?
Use ever or before, like put ever earlier in the sentence after your verb has or have. So has the UAE ever been a host of the Olympics, or has the UAE hosted the Olympics before, or
Has the UAE hosted?
the Olympics before? Those are the two forms that I would use.
Has the UAE hosted
The Olympics before.
the Olympics?
You need some sort of preposition there to make it. Actually, you don't need it. It just sounds good. You could just say, has the UAE hosted the Olympics? But to make it really complete as a thought, not grammatically, that's fine, but to make it, good English, then I would add some sort of preposition like
Before
before.
or earlier. Has he?
Right.
Before.
And
Oh, okay.
ever, I believe, is actually an adverb, but same, they do similar things. Okay. So let's do number 2 here.
Okay. So you say our body or our bodies?
And what
Like
both can be correct depending on the
eating,
context.
like eating healthy food is good. Strengthen our body or strengthen our bodies.
Careful with your pronunciation of strengthen, by the way.
Strengthen.
You're adding like an A sound to it. Just strengthen.
Strengthen.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
You're like strengthen. Okay.
Strengthen.
Eating healthy food helps to strengthen our bodies.
Bodies. All right.
Yeah.
How could you say that sometimes you can use our body or our bodies?
Because sometimes when you're talking about like the human body, you don't, instead of saying like the intestine is an important part of human bodies, it sounds better to just talk about one noun. So we say the intestine is an important part of the human body, like talking about, or any animal really, you're talking about like the appendix. You could say, in birds, the appendix serves an important role in their immune system, rather than saying, immune systems.
Okay.
So it just depends. It's sort of like when you're talking about, when you're making statements about philosophy or like general rules, you can say, you've heard how people use one to use it as a sort of an example or a hypothetical. So I'll explain what I mean by that. So like, one only has to look at blah, blah, blah to understand that this rule doesn't work. Like, one only has to look at the failure of the USSR to understand the problems with communism. So like, instead of saying like, oh, what's that? The USSR.
Like Soviet Union?
Yeah, the Soviet Union. One only has to look at the example of the Soviet Union to understand the failures of one only. I'll type it out for you. One only has to look at the failure of the Soviet Union to understand the failing or the problems. Or you could just say problem with communism.
One has to look at the failure. One only has to look at.
It's saying like, you don't need multiple examples. You could just look at this one case.
Understand the problem.
You could, depending on your point, you could use problem or problems. If you're trying to say that there's many problems.
So the opposite of communism will be capitalism, right? If I'm not
mistaken. Communism is actually sort of, so you have actually the opposite of capitalism is more like socialism.
I mean, communism is more on socialism.
Communism is a type of socialism. Basically, before the USSR, communism wasn't really a big thing. You just had socialism. And then around the year 1917, there was a revolution in Russia, and the socialists took over the country, specifically a super radical sect, SECT, of socialists called the Bolsheviks. The Bolsheviks were
A
communists.
person, a leader.
They had a leader, Lenin.
Chief.
Vladimir Lenin was their leader. So
He enforced communism in the country.
right, so a commune is a group of people living together. So
Like communal dinner.
right, yeah, it means together. So they called themselves the communists to separate themselves from the softer socialists. The communists believed that they should use like violence and really hard aggressive tactics to win. Like the socialists were more about like following. So socialism comes from this book called the Socialist Manifesto, which was written by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. Here.
So is there any difference between like communism and dictatorship?
What's that?
Communism and the dictatorship.
Yeah, there is a difference, because in communism, you're supposed to have not one ruler, but you're supposed to be ruled by like committees. So the Soviet Union had like a central committee, and then they had, yeah, basically by the, on paper, on paper, the communists weren't supposed to have one leader, but it sort of worked out that way. It ended up being first Lenin and then Stalin. They would have like, who basically served the role of like a prime minister. So it wasn't supposed to have, like a central person, but it did. They were called the premier, right?
Yeah.
Joseph Stalin was the premier of the Soviet Union.
What is premier? Prime Minister, President?
It's sort of just the Soviet version of those things. But yeah, you can think of communism as extreme socialism, where it focuses on these groups like of communes, of people living together in a commune. And then the word Soviet is Russian for commune. A Soviet is a gathering of people that represent different classes of society. So they would have like the Soviet of peasants, they would have the Soviet of soldiers, they would have the Soviet of sailors, the Soviet of factory workers.
Basically, it's like a community, right?
What's that?
Basically, you have a lot of like communities, several communities that focus on their own performance of jobs.
Right. And their representation in government, they elect officials. Well, in the beginning, at least, they elected officials that represented them. Like they would nominate one of the peasants would get sent to Moscow, and he would be a representative for all the other peasants. But
what is peasant?
A peasant is a farmer.
How do you spell it? Peasant. Peasant is a farmer. And then
a peasant is like a poor farmer, like a lower class farmer.
Would you prefer capitalism or communism?
personally,
Mhm.
capitalism.
Capitalism means like nobody can touch your wealth. You earn
Well,
it.
there's taxes, and there's something called libertarianism where under that system no one can touch your wealth. But as far as I know, there's no place in the world that actually has libertarianism.
Okay, so
But
socialism means somehow like a system that,
socialism, everyone is supposed to share the wealth with each other so that everyone has an equal share.
so basically the lazy people will get a fair share of what they are
Right.
even they don't
Under
work.
the socialist system, the idea is that nobody's going to be lazy because they're all going to believe in a shared goal of the people. But the problem is that, yeah, of course, people are not going to work. People just aren't the same, you know. The socialist system assumes that everyone is basically the same. And that's just not true.
Oh, yeah, true, true.
You know, not everyone has the same work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
And also, under the socialist system, a lot of people ended up starving, all sorts of famine, and also they had to shut down any kind of political opposition, so they just murdered people. Even the modern socialist countries are China, Vietnam, I think Laos, there's a few, Cuba, but most of those systems, especially the Chinese system, they're not really socialist. They just say they're socialist. The
But
Chinese, right? You know about the Chinese Communist Party. They're,
CCP.
yeah. So they're not really communists. They follow capitalism, just a weird form of it. My point is that the reason that China's been able to be successful is not from communism. They just are sneaky about using capitalism.
Oh, so they are like spreading the propaganda that everyone prosper together, but actually only a certain areas are prosperous, but some other areas are left out.
Sure, you could say that, but my point was that they're not actually communist at all. They're just capitalists.
Okay. Communal dinner is something like the Christians will actually go to the church and like at the end of the I think
Oh, you're thinking of communion.
oh
Yeah,
that one is communion, not
yeah.
communal dinner.
A communal dinner just means people getting together to have dinner together.
It's not reunion dinner.
No, that's different. That's like when people haven't seen each other for a long time, they come back together for a reunion. Remember our lesson on morphemes. Is again, and union
Unite
is together. Yeah.
Communal dinner means a group of people who gather together to have dinner.
Yeah. And here, communion, that is a rite of the Christian church.
Communion. Just communion is fine, right? You don't need to say communion dinner.
Nope, just communion. But you're right, it is originally the first communion would have been the Last Supper with Jesus.
The Last Supper with Jesus. Before he was caught or he was arrested.
Before he was arrested, yeah.
Okay, right. What is RIP?
A rite is a part of a religion. It's an act that forms a part of the religion.
An act that forms a part of a religion.
Right. Just like the Muslims have the right of praying, they pray, they fast. Fasting would be a rite of the Muslim faith. Praying, they have to face towards Mecca. That's also
they have to face off.
They have to face towards Mecca.
What is face towards?
Their face, their body has to be pointing towards Mecca when they pray.
Or face towards?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen that if you live in Malaysia. When they pray, they all have to face the same
They
way.
have to bow.
Yeah, but they have to be facing a certain way towards Mecca.
I'm not sure. I just know that Muslims, they have the obligation to, especially if you are capable, you have to go to Mecca like once in a lifetime.
Right.
to go
Do you know
there.
the name for that?
Huh?
Do you know the name for that? That right? It's called the Hajj.
The Hajj.
H-A-J.
Hajj.
Hajj is trip to Mecca.
I just know that
It's a pilgrimage.
Hijrah is a Malay word. Hijrah. So hijrah means like you travel.
Yeah. It's probably just their word for Hajj. Hajj is the Arabic word.
How do you spell Mecca? M-E.
M-E-C-C-A.
Okay, M-E-C-C-A. M-E-C-C.
But actually, I think in Arabic, it's spelled differently. The English spelling is M-E-C-C-A.
Okay. In Malaysia, they spell it as M-E-K-K-A-H.
Yeah, I've seen that too. But in the UK and America, you're gonna see it as M-E-C-C-A.
What is
It's
pilgrimage?
a religious travel for religious reasons.
Travel for religion.
For religious regions. Reasons, not regions, sorry.
Reason. A travel for religious
reasons. For example, Jews are supposed to go to Israel.
Jews have to, must.
They don't have to. It's not as important as the Muslims.
Okay, can go to Israel.
Mhm.
Fun.
Christians don't really have that.
Actually, Malaysians, we are banned to go to Israel.
Why?
Because Muslims, they hate
Oh, right. They hate Jews.
they hate Jews a lot. And even the Malay books, they are like portraying the Israelites as the evil, evil group of people that killed a lot of Palestinians.
They did kill a lot of Palestinians. That's accurate. I just don't know if the evil part is accurate. It's very controversial.
Yeah. And also Malaysia is banned to host any like big sports event because we still, no matter what, we are still going to ban like Israel born athletes.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
It's not fair. So we are not allowed to hold any types of like big sports event.
And that's by the outside ruling bodies, not the Malaysian ones, because they know that the Malaysians wouldn't allow Israeli athletes.
Yeah, or Israeli. Israel.
Isn't there a big motorcycle race in Malaysia though? I think so.
F1. I think F1.
Yeah, I think there's F1 and I think there's MotoGP. Those are both pretty big, but I guess there aren't many Israeli drivers or racers.
Yeah.
I don't think there are any.
Yeah, no. But yeah, we only have F1. F1 race or F1 event.
No, you do have in Sepang, they have a F1 race. You have a MotoGP, which is, you wouldn't know it because you're not into bikes, but MotoGP is like the F1 of motorcycles. You have a F1 or you have a MotoGP race in Sepang or Sepang, however you say it.
Motor GP.
MotoGP, that's the top class of motorcycle racing.
Oh, a top class. I see.
Right.
I never knew that. It's in Sepang. I think
Yeah.
Sepang is nearby the airport.
That would make sense.
It's cheaper to have the event there as compared to like having the big
It might be a noise thing too, because the MotoGP bikes are super loud, like super loud.
Oh, okay.
Like you have to wear earplugs when you go to the race.
Also, when
F1
you
too.
race, you also need to wear the earplugs.
Yeah, or you'll lose your hearing.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But yeah, F1 is even louder.
Oh yeah, F1 is even louder. Correct. Like, what is the term that explains the car actually like? I don't want to sound
Going
stupid.
forward,
I don't want to sound stupid. It's like they suddenly like take a bend. Swerve,
cornering,
cornering.
yeah.
Like the car is
Turn.
cornering means it moves out of the track.
Oh, you mean when it's like crashing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's failure to corner. So it'd be like, you would just say crashing.
Crashing.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Like
There's
the
a
car.
lot of different terms for it.
Yeah, like when we drive, like when we want to cut the queue, what is that? Overtake.
Overtaking. Yeah, that's when you pass someone.
We
You
don't say
have,
cut
you also
queue.
have understeer. Understeer is where when you're taking a corner, you go too far to the inside, and you have oversteer where the car goes too far to the outside of the corner.
Understeer or oversteer?
Both. Understeer is where you like picture the corner is like this. I need to be able to show you.
Understeer and oversteer.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is oversteer where you go to the outside of the track. And then
Ah.
understeer is where you start to slide in. Oversteer going out that way. And understeer, or sorry, understeer is
but
this.
understeer, it's more likely to crash, right? Like both ways of driving are, if let's say the driver drives like in this manner, then most likely they will crash, right?
I don't know.
Or
I'm
it's
not
a
a car
technique.
guy. I don't really know. I'm not a car person. I would say probably oversteer is more dangerous
Oversteer is
because with
dangerous.
oversteer, the car is gonna like spin around.
Spin around.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about if drifting? What is drifting?
Drifting is where you purposely oversteer. Like you purposely you turn the wheels and then you turn the steering wheel one way and then you flip it back and then the rear of the car will start to slide. You also use that,
Oh,
you can use the handbrake, you know, that parking brake. You can use the parking brake to start a drift.
or
Here.
while you're moving, like while you're moving very fast and then you
Right. So
purposely do an oversteering act. Purposely oversteer.
yeah, let me just show you. It's easier to see how they do it.
Wait, drifting, can you explain what is drifting again? Purposely?
So drifting, like why they do it because it looks cool.
Just now the simple explanation that you gave me. Just now you say purposely.
You purposely oversteer.
You purposely oversteer. Okay.
Yeah, you throw the rear wheels into a drift.
You throw the
The rear of the car starts sliding, basically.
The wheel of the car starts sliding.
The rear wheels of this car start sliding.
Real?
Yeah, like here, look at how he does it. This here, this stick here is gonna be used for the drift. He's speaking Polish.
Oh, I can't hear anything.
Sorry, it's my audio. I think we're trying to do too many things at once. You see what he does with the wheel?
Oh, okay, it's pretty fast. Okay. Oh, yeah.
I don't want to get a
But
copyright strike, but you see he goes like boom, boom, like with the wheel, and then that gets it sliding.
just now you said real, like how do you spell real? Does real start sliding?
Wheel.
Wheel. Oh, it's not real.
Mhm.
Wheel. The wheel.
The rear wheel, like rear, REAR,
Oh,
as
okay.
opposed opposite of front.
Rear.
I
Opposite
should
of
say wheels, plural. The rear wheels.
the rear. The rear. The rear or the rear.
Rear
The rear. The
Wheel.
rear wheel
wheels.
start to slide
hmm
and when we drift.
hmm
Rear. Rear.
Rear
Yeah.
wheels. Yeah, it's a
Difficult.
hard one.
It's hard to pronounce it. Rear. Rear wheels. Rear wheels.
Rear wheels, as opposed to real wheels, which would be a
I
wheel
always
that is
thought this is
real.
like rare.
Yeah, and not a rare wheel. Yeah, that's a hard one. I should make my students say it.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's get away from drifting. I don't know why we're talking about drifting. So let's go to, we did this one already. Number 3.
Yeah.
Did we do this? No, I don't think so.
We will look into the issues
Mhm.
immediately and we didn't do number 2.
Oh, we didn't? We only did 1? Oh my gosh.
Never mind. At least I learned
I'm
something extra. Yeah, I'm taking off work next week because I have a family vacation plan.
right.
Take out
Similar,
means it's taking out is literal, right?
yes.
Yeah, and then
And
taking away, it's also
taking away is more about food, like takeaway.
Oh.
Takeaway is when you get food to go. And
alright.
then taking down is when you bring someone to the ground. And it can also mean, in a figurative sense, it can mean like
Eat.
destroying. It can mean like destroying something. Like he took down the corporation by himself. Like by exposing all of their dirty secrets, he decided that he was going to take down
Oh,
Walmart.
by revealing all the secrets.
Yeah, like taking someone down is, I'm gonna take him down. I'm going to take her down. It's like exposing them and ruining their reputation, but in a, like a good way. Like taking care of a bad person is taking them down.
Okay, like revealing, like he took the company down by
Mhm.
revealing the dirty secrets.
Right. It comes from a takedown is where in wrestling or fighting, the one fighter grabs the other fighter and takes him or her to the ground.
To the ground to bring
Yeah.
someone down the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned this word before through game Call of Duty.
Yeah. See, video games can be educational.
You play that?
Yeah, of course, a lot.
Lord. How about now? It's boring now.
I just don't have time. And in Thailand, people don't really play Call of Duty. They play like
Whenever
phone
I
games.
see like Thai name, I feel happy because they are new.
Oh, okay. You're talking about Call of Duty Mobile, right? You play on the
Yeah.
phone.
Every
Yeah,
time
yeah.
I
It's
see that,
popular here.
it's popular there.
Yeah, but not like you're right. A lot of noobs, not people that I play a lot of
They're
Call of
bad at
Duty.
like if they team up with me, I just quit the game.
That's funny. Yeah, I think PUBG and Free Fire are more popular here,
Oh,
like the battle royale games. But
PUBG is I don't know how to play PUBG.
I just don't play games on mobile. I like to play games on like PC or console, but I don't have a fancy PC, so I just play on PlayStation.
Like PlayStation, is it online or it's not online?
It's both, but the problem is that like only like 1% of the population of Thailand has PlayStation, so there's no good servers for the games I like to play. So I just play single player.
Oh, that's boring.
Depends on the game. Yeah, I don't play games very much, so yeah, you're right. It is boring.
Okay. We will look into the issues immediately and find out what's wrong with your order.
Right. Look into, look up to.
Look up to means to admire someone.
Hmm.
I look up to
Look away is more literal,
what is
and
look away?
look down on is, look down.
Underestimate a person.
Uh, it's the opposite of look up to. It's
Uh,
like to think low of someone, to think less of someone.
to think,
Less of someone.
think
Like
less or low.
the king looks down on his subjects.
What is
He-
subject?
Subject is someone that is a vassal to the king. I can only give you other words that mean the same
Vassal?
thing.
What is vassal?
Vassal is a subject. VASSAL. It's like the technical word is like client, but it's not used in the way that we use client. It's like someone that's below someone in station.
Vassals. The king looks down on his
So in
Vassal.
feudalism,
or subjects.
there is a king who has subjects, vassals, who owe him loyalty.
Oh, owe him royalty.
Loyalty. Here, I typed it out for you.
Feudalism, there is a king who has subjects.
Vassals.
Vassals. Oh, not vassal.
Yeah.
Vassals. Vassals
Vassals.
who owe him loyalty.
Yeah, vassals.
Okay.
Yeah.
think it is something like last time, like it happens long time ago, like Siam, I think Thailand, like before the Thailand, this name is
Siam.
yeah, it exists. Before that, Thailand is called as Siam, right?
Yeah, actually they only changed the name during World War II.
Oh, during World War II, after World War II.
During World War II, they changed it to Thailand. They
Thailand.
had a different dictator.
So because I would say that before that, I mean, Siam is considered as a very powerful country, right? Like even the kings in the Malaya,
Mhm.
we need to offer something to the king of Thailand.
Mhm.
Are we considered as vassals? Is it something like that? Like the meaning of
Yeah. Yeah, that's close. Yeah. A vassal state is a state that owes, they have to pay tribute to a more powerful
pay
state.
tribute?
Yeah.
Pay,
Yeah, that's a good usage of it.
pay tribute. tribute. What is tribute now?
Tribute.
Yeah.
Tribute is
Personally,
a payment. It's a payment to show that you're loyal to someone.
Tribute
It's like a tax.
is like payment of loyalty,
Yeah, a loyalty payment.
a loyalty payment.
Yeah.
Me right now.
It's outdated. You don't there is no real government paying tribute. Except they use it as not in a literal sense. So they use it figuratively. Like in his new song, I Love Elvis, the singer pays tribute to Elvis Presley. Like paying tribute to someone now, the modern meaning is like you use your skill to show your appreciation for someone like your elder. Like BTS's new album, K-pop pays homage or pays tribute to the other Korean idols that came before them, something like that.
Okay, like
It's like to pay homage or to pay tribute is like to show, it's like something that you do to show your appreciation for
to show-
another person or thing.
it's no longer like
It's no longer a literal payment. It used to be that.
so it's no longer the outdated way of like paying an offering, like giving
Yeah.
offering to a
Show
more
loyalty.
superior country, right?
Right.
Okay, yeah, understood. Is it like this song, like for example, this song is in tribute
Yeah.
to like I just simply give a name, like
Yeah. Something like that.
Kim, who passed away last year.
Yeah. Right.
In is this song is in tribute to.
Yeah. You would probably just say in memory of, though,
In
or dedicated to.
is dedicated
This
to.
song is dedicated to in memory
Is
of
dedicated.
versus paying tribute to or paying homage or an homage to is when you like are actually honoring someone else, not because they died or whatever, but like not just because they died. In other words, it's like to show that you admire their skill as an artist.
Can I say paying tribute to the heroes of the country or the military?
Yeah, it could work.
Heroes or military?
Yeah,
It's
it's
not.
like you could say on last week, the Prime Minister of England or the Prime Minister of Britain paid tribute to the fallen soldiers of World War II in his speech.
Of fallen heroes.
Yeah, something like that.
So he paid a tribute
He
to.
paid tribute. You don't need to use a there.
Oh, okay.
He paid tribute.
Paid tribute to the fallen heroes in World War II.
Or you could say
during World War II.
What's that?
Do we say during World War II? Because sometimes
you say the fallen soldiers of. You wouldn't say during. Usually, it depends on the context, honestly.
And when do we really use during?
Many times. You mean to talk about wars or like?
It could happen.
He paid tribute to the soldiers who died during the Battle of blank.
PAID, right? Paid.
No. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. He paid tribute to the soldiers who died during the Battle of World War II. During the like we say, I rest on weekdays. Sorry, I rest on weekends or I rest in weekends.
On weekends.
On weekends. And then I go to school on weekdays.
Mhm. Yeah, for
Weekday, during
you use in for months though,
Yeah.
like in February, you know, in December. Like in December, the weather normally starts to chill.
So, okay.
But for days you use on. Or if you're talking about a specific date, like I'd like to talk about our fallen heroes today. On September 21st, 1942, thousands of British soldiers were killed during the Battle of blah, 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 something like that.
Actually, you can interchange the day and also the month, right? Like
Yeah, depending on
26th
the,
of February or February the 26th.
yeah, on February 26th or on 26th February.
Okay, understood.
It's just, I say it that way because I'm an American.
So
which
you
is,
put the month first.
yeah, Americans always put the month first.
Okay, understood. Okay, so we'll look into the matter. Okay. The use of rebates will help our customers cut down on their total expenses, which will be incentive for them to buy from us again.
Right. So, do you know what rebates are? That's correct, by the way.
Cash rebates. Oh, thank you. Rebates means like discount.
Yeah, a discount that's applied after purchase is a rebate.
Oh, okay.
But now they have something called instant rebates, which
Instant rebates means
it
you can
happens
just
at
apply
the point.
rebates on
Yeah,
this current payment, right?
right. But an instant rebate is sort of like one of those advertising gimmicks. Like it's just a discount. And an instant rebate is just a discount. It's
So
not
they
really,
put the
it's
word
not
instant so people will get attracted to buy.
right. It's just another marketing term. But generally a rebate, the meaning of rebate is a discount that's applied after sale. So after you buy the thing, you need to show proof of purchase and then they'll refund you some money
So you can only apply, you can only redeem the rebates during
after sale.
after sale.
Right. And there's
The
usually a
next
time
purchase.
limit. They count on people they count on people being too lazy to actually follow through with the rebate. So let's say if you sell a product and you have a rebate that's for like 15% off, but
Mhm.
you have to figure that maybe only like 70 to 80% of your customers are actually going to bother to use the rebate because it, takes time and takes some effort on their part, then it saves the company a lot more money than just putting a 15% discount on all their products.
So they will use this rebates, they will give them the voucher, the rebate voucher, so that they can use it they can use it for the next purchase.
Well, no, it's like a cash rebate, like you said. There's
Cash.
different types, but like usually you have to actually physically mail the rebate to the company.
Understood.
So it takes some effort and people often don't actually do it. So it's just a way to cut down on costs while still saying, oh, this is 15% off as a rebate.
Oh, as a rebate.
Okay, number 5.
It looks like the supplier added some extra products to our invoice. Do you think they were trying to rip us off? Or do you think it was a mistake?
Yeah, a rip off. So this can
Get
also be used as an adjective. So rip off is an adjective used to describe an overpriced product.
Oh, okay. Understood. And also there is a person, I mean, my colleague actually asked whether she, like the day, like yesterday I posted your advertisement on my profile, and then she started asking me this morning. So I'm thinking whether she could join us or not, because I just set the price. I'm sorry I didn't inform you earlier, but then you're still going to earn like more than what you're earning right now. If she
All
combines,
right, my audio, okay, it's fixed.
yeah.
So your coworker wants to study with our adult class?
Yeah, actually I set the maximum at 6 packs in a class. So like, yeah, 6 persons, but I'm not sure whether you will just continue with our, I think this is fine. I think this is good enough. Like, yeah, then um actually she was a coach. Yeah, so she's quite good. I think her literacy and proficiency is like so much better than me. So I think it will work if she could join us like in the morning.
Okay, okay, all right. So you don't mean the adult class, you mean this class? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine.
she can join us, right?
Yeah, of course.
And then second.
Yeah, and then I can adjust your tuition accordingly.
Okay. You are going to follow your calculation, or you will follow the one that I posted. If you don't want to follow mine one, then I go and delete my post.
Of what is yours?
My rate that I wrote, I forgot to inform you. It's 380 ringgit for 1 month.
Okay, per student.
Yeah,
So
380
mine,
times 2, like let's say my friend and I join, that will be, because
because for
normally we calculate the
mine
fee.
is 4,000 for 2 people. I have 4,000 baht per 10 hours.
Oh, okay, so that will be 8,000 bahts, right?
Right, that's normally what I do for 2 people in Thailand.
8,000 baht to MYR. Oh, okay. It's still, because I'm still waiting for the number to grow. Yeah.
Okay, so what was the rate
Mine
that
is
you
like
put?
380 times 2. So 380 times 2, it's going to be 760 Malaysian ringgit to Thai baht. It's a bit lower than the rate that you are offering.
What is it in Thai baht?
760, wait. 760, it will be like, wait a moment. 760, it will be 5880.
5880 Thai baht.
Let's say it's too expensive. I doubt that.
I mean, I've had good luck with this pay scale in the past. So
Hmm?
it works like I've had good luck with this pay scale. So for 2 people, 4,000, and then for 3 to 5,
Do you
then
want
it
to
goes
like
down
wait
to.
for the number to grow, or you are going
No,
to?
she can join, but just why don't we join and then we'll drop your tuition to 4,000 and hers would also be 4,000. I don't know what that is in ringgit. I just think that
Because usually, I mean, it differs by a bit. So usually people will just like go for one-on-one, because that doesn't make much difference. Like just pay extra 500 for one-on-one, like might not. So they might have this kind of thinking. I mean,
yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's
so
just
but it will take up your take up more time. Yeah. That's the thing.
Right. I
So-
mean, I've been okay with this pay scale. It's worked for me in the past, but um so is she like really serious about joining?
Yeah, she's I've actually met her and then she's pretty serious. And
All
then
right, maybe we can put the rate somewhere in the middle, because I think that if the combined, if you said how much is it together, it's like 5,000 something baht.
5,800, something like that. So you have
Okay,
like roughly 1,300, but more.
right.
Because in Malaysia, the rate is like but oh yeah, because I understand that you are providing 10 hours, right? Month,
Right, it's
usually.
10-hour blocks. I also have an hourly rate, but I have it set a little bit higher to encourage people to buy the 10-hour blocks.
Oh, okay.
The hourly rate is here. And then,
If
but
let's say you want to make it small, right? The class small, you want to lock this and make it smaller, right? Then
okay. All right, why don't we just take your rate and,
you wait for the number to grow.
no, I think she can join right away. But let's make sure that the number gets above 2 people, because
Above
I'm just worried that it's gonna, I guess it doesn't matter because it's in Malaysia, but I don't want to undermine
your
my tutoring here by offering like super discounted rates,
okay.
because if my clients, my Thai clients think that I'm like underselling or overselling them, then it could be a problem. But yeah, so it's your coworker, she wants to join, and you said she was a coach. You mean like a language coach?
Yeah, she's actually handling she's actually teaching speaking, but then she says that, oh, okay, uh she needs to like polish her accent to sound more native. So that's the thing. But I
Okay.
think she's fine and she's pretty good. I think you can assess her lah. But
Yeah, I'll give her the assessment.
but of course you have yeah, regarding the payment you can directly reach out to her.
All
Then
right,
I will
just
pass-
send me the number that you came up with, and I'll decide
Sure.
whether I think it's, you know, fair or not.
Yeah. Today is our 41st class, right? This is
41st.
41st
Yeah, it is.
or 31st.
Yeah.
This, oh yeah, it gets a bit like
But
messy.
as she joins, we can I'll calculate it and then refund you accordingly.
Oh, okay. You don't need to refund me
Or we could just put it as a
because
credit when
as
you make a payment to me. Yeah, for the children's class. You can just take it out of there.
oh sure. Yeah, because as you make payment, then there is a processing fee that will
Right, I was just thinking
reduce
that.
your pay. Yeah.
Yeah, so just wait.
If let's say she wants to join next week, shall we like make it or can you like deduct my class because last time Chiu he took my lesson, right? My 1 credit hour. Could you deduct his hour and then replace it on my side?
what do you mean he took your, I'm not
Because
sure I
it's higher
follow.
class.
Because what?
Because he used my class to have his trial class with you.
I thought I already took care of that. I thought I gave you credit. I gave you credit for Chu, Yi. Yeah, I gave you credit for both of those.
And then I think he used my my time to have his trial class and I didn't pass it to
Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
you. Yeah. So if let's say, then this will be my 40th. Then
Okay,
so it's easier for me to like calculate to collect the payment from my
sure. Yeah, okay.
her.
Just assuming that
Next
she's,
week is like the fresh start.
just make sure that she's actually serious about joining.
I'll pass her number to you, and then she will make. I think
All right, and
Yeah.
send me the payment scheme that you have set up so I can look over it and see if it's,
sure. It's up to you. You can decide.
uh,
And then if you're not satisfied with it, then I will just like delete my post.
okay. Yeah, in the future, if you're advertising for one-on-one classes with me, make sure you let me know the rate.
Oh, sure. Because yes, yeah. I don't. Should I delete it first? Oh, because
I don't know, just send it to me and then I'll check over it. Cause I need to like, to process things, I need to like read over them.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So just send me the post with the rate and I'll go over it.
Oh, I haven't posted it. I'm sorry, I
Okay.
haven't posted it.
All
Yeah,
right, just
hold
let
on.
me see the rate and then I'll
That's
adjust it.
I sent you yesterday.
Oh, this one, yeah. I was going to bed. All right, I'll check over it.
Sure.
Oh, I see. 380 ringgit
Yeah.
for 10 credit hours. Yeah, see, that makes sense if there's 6 people. But if it's
But-
2, it can be a bit low.
A bit low. For me, I think it's
380
quite-
ringgit to Thai baht.
Yeah. So
Okay, it's 3,000 baht. That's fine. That's just about what I have. So for the 2 of you paying together, it would be 6,000 per 10 credit hours. Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
you're fine with 2 persons having this.
Yeah. Obviously, it would be nice to grow it a bit, but yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, still you're not losing anything. Still
No.
higher than
Yeah,
what we are having.
of
now.
course. Yeah, it's close to my rate for 3 to 5 students on my pay scale. So on the Thai pay scale.
Ah, yeah.
So it makes sense.
You
Yeah,
want 1 on 2 or
tell her she's welcome to join.
oh, okay. I'll pass you her contact then.
Okay. And then I'll have to do a separate assessment with her.
Oh, okay. No
And
worries. If
then
let's
she
say you
can
want to
join our
test the
class.
water, you want to test whether she is serious or not, you can ask her to like transfer a payment to you, like yeah, as a trial class, like what you did to me last. If you want
Right.
to test whether she's okay.
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah.
But I'll test her separately and then we'll start the class with both of you together, assuming that she's close to the same level as you.
Oh, okay, sure, no problem.
All right, I'm gonna go get ready for my next lesson.
Okay. Thanks so much.
And all right, see you.
See you. And bye-bye.
Bye.